Hello there and welcome to another episode of the Long Live Rock and Roll podcast. The episode you're about to hear is part one of a long discussion that myself and Felipe had with vocal tutor and vocal performer Daria, where we counted and listed our top 5 rock vocalists. The episode was too long to put out as one whole episode, so what we've done is we've decided to split it into 2 parts. Part 1, which is vocalists 5 to 3 you're hearing today, and part 2, which will be vocalists 2 to 1, will be appearing in 2 weeks' time. Enjoy! Hello there and welcome back everyone to another episode of the Long Live Rock and Roll podcast. As usual, to my left is my co-host Felipe Amrin. How's it going, man?
All good, man.
And
hello,
to his left is our special guest, who's actually my wife. We call her Dash, but you can call her Daria. Daria's a vocal coach, a vocal teacher, and a vocal performer as well. So welcome, Dash. Or should I say hello, babe? Is that more normal?
Yeah, that's fine. That's
say that on the podcast.
Hi everyone, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
I will call you Dash throughout the episode. Mm-hmm. So tell our audience a bit about yourself, Dash.
Well, like Laz said, I'm a singer, vocal coach, and actually a YouTuber as of recently as well. And I'm just mad about music, as all of us here are. I love rock, and I'm really excited for today's special vocalists episode.
That's it, yeah. Yes. So what we're doing today, as Dash just said, is we are choosing each of our top 5 vocalists. We're going to go from 5, 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, so we get to our favourite vocalist each. And what we're going to do is, we're not going to sort of study them or look at them in depth. We're just going to talk about why we like them, give you guys some songs in the playlist of why we like them and their vocals. So yeah, without further ado, let's get going. Yeah. Guests first. So Dash, who's your number 5 top rock vocalist?
My number 5.
Did we settle on rock or was it just vocals?
We said
there's
rock.
an emphasis on rock this time. Yeah. So without further ado,
it's still the rock and roll podcast, isn't it?
Yes, yeah. We'll do opera vocalists another in a few years. Without further ado, let's begin. And here is Dash's 5th top rock vocalist,
Steven Tyler of Aerosmith.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So I actually only recently started listening through all their albums. I know like the hits, Dream On, Walk This Way, all these big songs that they did. But I never really studied his voice. And Laz knows, like, I'm a bit of a nerd. I really love analysing voices, and it's like my thing. So I just decided that I'm going to start from album 1. And it just completely blew me away. His vocals, oh my goodness. From the first album, he was just on point. It's not like, they just did the first album and he went and got some vocal coaching and then he came back and he was like, wow. No, it was wow from the beginning. Yeah, it was just always great.
Has he stayed consistent throughout the albums?
Yeah, I think so.
Have you noticed an improvement or a drop-off? Is it the same?
I don't think it's like an improvement. I think it's just different because your voice, as you age as well, it changes. And you get kind of thicker tones sometimes because of that. And that's not a bad thing. I actually think sometimes aging, like, for example, the Metallica singer, James. So I think with age, his voice actually got better.
He's gotten so much better with age.
But he kind of started studying properly later on in life.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Steven Tyler was always into actually practicing and going into the technical side of it. I saw them live. Probably about 10 years ago. I don't know how old he is now. He was probably 60 when I saw him on stage.
Still killing it.
And he was like...
He's not young anymore.
And he was singing everything in the original keys and saying...
It's impressive.
How dare you being so good?
I saw them.
It's shocking.
I saw them at Download Festival a few years ago and they were very, very good. Even then, like you said, he must have been... If you saw him 10 years ago and I saw him 5 years ago, he must be 65 at least. Yeah. So again, he's still going. But that's just got to be the result of good vocal training, right? And good technique.
I'm not sure actually, but I do think he had vocal training. I also know that he had throat surgery.
Oh really? For
in 2006. I don't know what triggered it, but unfortunately, you see that happen in vocalists who he's been around for a while.
There you go. I found it here. He's 73 years old.
Wowie. You know, so yeah, he's been on stage for however 50
decades,
years.
50 years or more, yeah.
Yeah, it's been distorting, you know, he's probably got lots of distortion in his voice, he screams, you know, he does these little screams very, very well. And his songs are quite high up, like they're in a really high range.
For a male.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm not like surprised that he had a surgery. Obviously it's awful, you know, it's not something that anyone would want, but I'm not like shocked at that when I found that out.
Yeah.
Almost.
Do you know one thing he doesn't do?
What?
Is to hold the microphone so the audience can sing. He does sing every single chorus in every single gig.
That's normally singers take that opportunity to give themselves a break, don't they?
Exactly.
Absolutely, we do.
It's called the Bon Jovi technique. Oops.
Excellent. So, Dash, can you give us a few Aerosmith or Steven Tyler songs?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna go with not something super famous, okay? Because I think some of the songs that I found are absolutely brilliant, and his vocals just brilliant there. So let me just get on my playlist.
As usual, guys, this will be on the playlist link that we put in the show notes near the bottom of whatever platform you're on, Apple or Spotify. Find the playlist link. It will take you to the Spotify playlist that we've created with all the songs that we've all put in for you to listen to alongside the episode before or after.
Yeah, I'll give you two that I really liked.
Perfect.
It's One Way Street from one of the early albums, like 70s something, literally. It's really early. And I also liked, actually, most of the album called 9 Lives.
You can put a link for the album there.
Yeah.
But the track Ain't That a Bitch.
Ain't That a Bitch from 9 Lives. Fuck
you can, yeah. Fuck you can.
Excellent. Right, let's move on to Felipe's 5th favourite rock vocalist.
Right, I'm sorry to say that, Dash, but the show hasn't started yet. Because I need to open my...
Oh, we forgot. Here we go.
On.
Oh.
There we go.
Welcome to the show.
Let's now rewind. Dash's 5th vocalist, Steven Tyler. There we go. Felipe's 5th vocalist.
It's quite a different style of singing and quite a different accent compared to Steven Tyler. Greg Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer and King Crimson and his solo career as well.
Beautiful.
What a singer, right?
Well, yeah.
Because he's famous for being like a prog musician, and obviously people talk a lot about his bass playing, and they talk a lot about the instrumental bits in all the bands he played with. So you think about King Crimson, he did the first album only, right? If I'm not wrong. And everyone talks about Robert Fripp's guitar playing, everyone talks about, you know, the whole production, the whole instrumental bits, but I rarely hear people talking about how good he is as a singer, you know? And obviously he wrote beautiful songs and all that stuff, but his vocals are so clean and so spot on.
Yeah, his pronunciation as well.
Yeah, is that what you like best about?
Yeah, I think it sounds like an angel. What a beautiful
that's
voice.
a good way of describing it. It's got a very angelic voice. It's clean, it's smooth, the tone's lovely. You can hear every word he says, which I feel you can't always do with singers all
Which
the time.
is one of the main things for me. If I can't understand all the lyrics without reading them, and if every single syllable is like clear, and it's crystal clear. When
it's good, isn't it? When you know exactly what the song is about because the singer's communicating it this way.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You do appreciate it.
Felipe, songs of Greg's Lakes? Greg's Lakes. We're so...
Did he have more than one lake?
I was thinking Greg's is in the sausage rolls.
Okay. Yeah, maybe that's why I like him. He's got Greg in the name. Take a Pebble from the first album for sure. Still You Turn Me On from Brain Salad Surgery. Both albums by Emerson, Lake and Palmer. You suggested a King Crimson song.
Oh yeah, In the Court of the Crimson King from the album In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson. Those three will be in the playlist. Now, Joe, anything else to say about Greg Lake? Or are you happy?
I just listen to him. That's listen to his solo stuff. It's beautiful.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah. Right, my 5th top rock vocalist is a man named Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor is the singer / shouter / screamer of Slipknot. But I said this in that order, purposely trying to be funny because he does all three of them, and I think to an excellent extent. I've been a Slipknot fan for probably about close to 2 decades now, and I've heard him do everything. He has this powerful voice that commands the song. Slipknot are a band who I want to listen to the instruments, I want to listen to the guitar riffs, I want to listen to the drumming, but all I can ever focus on is his voice, and whether that's him shouting and screaming or singing, Corey for me runs that band.
It's interesting what you said. We were listening to these songs before, and you said like, once he starts singing, I can't hear anything else. It's just like he takes over, and it's really hard to do that in a heavy band.
Oh yeah,
exactly. Because metal is very complicated. There's lots of riffs going on. If there's not complicated riffs, then the drumming's probably a bit complicated. So to have a singer, in my opinion, as a heavy metal fan, to have a singer take away from the music because he's so good and commanding, that says to me, fucking great vocalist.
Yeah, you know, when we saw them at Download.
Yes.
So
we've seen them twice together, you and me.
I mean, at that point. So let's get
the first time Dash saw Slipknot, it was a bit of a rude awakening, wasn't it? We've been together for about 6 months, and I took her to see. No, a bit longer.
A couple of months.
Oh, a couple of months, and I took her to see Slipknot, which
God, that's so romantic of you.
It was coffee in a cafe, West End show.
Next step,
Slipknot.
And you know, I wasn't really into metal and rock at that point yet.
Yeah.
You know,
but
so
what
I was
was
like,
your first
and you
impression?
just like, it's like it was like a slap in the face.
Can I ask you what your first impression was from the first Slipknot gig to the second one?
First was just shock. I was just like, what is this? What is going on? I was scared. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to be in a mosh pit. Something's going to happen to me. But obviously, you know, nothing happened to me or whatever. And it wouldn't, like, anyway. But second gig, because it was Download. And you know when it was Jump the Fuck Up.
So Slipknot have a song called Spit It Out, and every time they do it live, they break down a section where they break it down. It's just a snare doing like a marching thing. He goes on and on, and he speaks to the audience, and he makes them all crouch down on their knees, and then he proceeds it with a 16-bar thing where he just does a little rap or a little breakdown, and that sort of little verse section ends with everybody jump the fuck up, and all the audience at once. We were there, 100,000 people on their knees, jump the fuck up. Everyone rose.
That's another skill of good singers, isn't it? Is how you
crowd
deal
control.
with yes.
Well, that's performing, really, to me. I think he's a great frontman. I think he can really, with his voice, and I do like. I agree with you about he's got like this commanding kind of tone. Yeah. You're like, okay, Corey, fine, I'm listening. You know, you like want to listen to him.
I'm sold.
So I was just. Second gig, it was powerful, and I was ready to listen. I was like, okay, go on, wait and tell me. Yeah.
You have said previously, we've discussed this about his technique. Now, his technique is frowned upon in the singing community, right? Can you tell us why? You don't have to get overly technical, but just tell us what your thoughts are.
So in a nutshell, most vocal coaches think that his distortion technique is unhealthy.
Okay, it's not sustainable.
Apparently not.
But yet he's been doing it for 20 years.
I know.
That's the crazy thing, isn't it? It's like the songs on the albums don't lie. He's consistently done it.
Well, I have there's something I say about rock and roll. It doesn't have to be right; it has to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I appreciate his tone, and I actually really like it. I've got that my students sing Slipknot songs, and I absolutely love it. I think he's got this really distinctive tone. You can hear Corey when Corey's singing. It's Corey.
I'm going to put a few Slipknot songs in. I'm going to put in Dead Memories. I'm going to put in a song by Stone Sour called Through Glass because his vocals are beautifully haunting on there. Slipknot, I'll do another Slipknot one. I'll do Psychosocial because he's got this beautiful sing/shout where he shouts but with notes. He does that really well on Psychosocial. So those three will be in the playlist. That's the fifth one's done. Should we move to number 4? Dash, who is your fourth top rock vocalist?
Freddie Mercury is my
Oh, yes. Amazing.
So, I mean, I'm always kind of lost for words when it comes to Freddie Mercury because it's just Freddie Mercury. Like, what can you say there? One of the greatest front singers.
I'd say
singers in the rock world.
Yeah,
all time. Just favorite performer of mine, probably. Yeah. Go on.
Well, I'd say that as a frontman, he's the best.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
agree.
the best ever by far.
Yeah.
Right, because how many people could be standing in front of a crowd at Wembley Stadium
And have them all
and
in
just
the palm
and just
of his
say,
hand.
"I'm going to make you sing. I'm going to make you cry. I'm going to make you laugh. I'm going to make you shout," and is totally in control. And also, I never seen any singer or any performer who felt so comfortable in that position.
Yeah, he was in his
It's like
element.
like when he would dress as the Queen. It's like, I am the Queen, that's it. I rule here on the stage, and I rule my crowd. He was totally in charge. So, although we talk a lot about, we're talking about the techniques and how people sing, and we're talking about the vocals, but talking about the persona, for me, he was flawless. He was like the number one on stage, the best one. And obviously, he brought loads of, I don't know, Dash can talk about that. He had some kind of classical training, didn't he? Or, it sounds like
operatic, isn't it? Well, actually, so what I've got in my notes, preparation.
She's got notes.
Bloody pro she is, Dash.
Yeah, she's pro. She's got notes.
So apparently, he didn't really have any kind of formal training. His mum used to tell people that he would just put on vinyls and sing. Now, I don't know if that's...
But he was probably listening to opera as well.
True. Yeah, but he was like training almost like himself.
He was a good piano player, which helps.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was phenomenal piano player, I think, personally. Because there's one thing to be just technically good at playing piano, but there's another thing when you have to do it in front of 8,000 people and sing and perform and make sure that audience is still with you. It's like
whilst drinking your fourth pint of beer.
It's just absolutely another level.
I think he was just I think he was compelling to watch. I think that almost in a different way to Corey Taylor, but with the same description, you could only ever focus on him. When you're watching it, and that's not a disservice to the rest of Queen, because the rest of Queen all played their part. We've done our Queen episode, but Freddie just holds the mantle for being the one whose attention the audience needs to have, and that's what he wanted. He wanted to be a performer. He wanted to. I will try and remember the quote before we get on, but he said. Someone said to him, "Oh, Freddie, you're never going to be a singer or something," and he said, "Singer? I don't want to be a singer. I want to be a legend."
Something,
I know I've got that quote wrong, but it's something along those lines. Yeah, Freddie. I mean, huge loss. And what the thing was, the other thing is that he kept writing, singing, and performing until maybe 2 years before his death in '93, I think it was.
When he knew he was dying.
Yeah, and that was the only time he stopped, when he knew that he said, right, well, I've only got a year to live. I'm going to live this. I'm just going to stop singing for a bit. But he carried on all the way. That's why Queen were able to make an album after he died, because he had so many demos recorded. He was just always singing, always writing. But yeah, fantastic singer. Any songs, Dash, for playlist?
I would go with, my favourite is Somebody to Love. I just love this song. Yeah. Just with all my heart, I love this one. And I really love I Want to Break Free as well. Yeah. It's just such a powerful performance. And he had this raw emotion in his voice. Distortion, I really loved it. And his projection was just phenomenal. Yeah.
Any songs, Felipe? Your favourite Queen vocal performance? I'll stick in Seven Seas of Rye, so I like that one.
Who Wants to Live Forever.
Perfect. So we've got those four in the playlist. Felipe, your fourth favourite singer, please.
There's a guy you know, John Fogerty from Creedence.
Yeah.
Creedence, what a band to start with. But when you have a band as good as them, and you have someone who stands out and is actually in charge of everything, like writing the lyrics and the melodies and the chords, and playing the guitar to that level and singing to that level. Because in the albums, you don't hear that much of guitar soloing and stuff, but if you watch his live videos, he's a great guitar player. Yeah. So, excellent frontman, knows how to deal with the crowd as well. Totally in control of his voice, and still going, still singing.
That's what I was going to say, yeah. I find his voice to be one of the most distinctive voices in rock and roll. It's just got that. What's the technique, Dash? Is it twang? I want to know.
Yeah,
Have you ever? It's just
nasally, twangy,
Yeah.
forward, bright.
It's just,
and
but it's so
distorted as well.
distinctive. You can just
The
hear
nasally
him.
twangy.
Yeah, the nasally twangy. But it's just distinctive. You hear that and you know it's him. And the only reason that you might not recognise the song is because it's not a Creedence song. It's one of his own.
Yeah.
But other than, I mean, he's a fantastic vocalist. Commands the audience as well.
Yeah.
And
Really good.
but what's different with him is that he's got a guitar.
Yeah.
It's not so easy to command an audience. You can sort of attest to this, Dash, that Corey Taylor and Freddie Mercury, they have the freedom of the stage and their microphone to go and do what they want.
Well,
one of my singers will talk about as well.
Yeah.
But John Fogerty's got a guitar. He's got to have a mic stand. He can't go around the stage.
Also,
But
he is
did
the soloist.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a guitar player in his band to play the solos for
Yeah.
him. So you're in charge of all the stuff.
But I'm saying he does all of that and still holds an audience.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic.
It is, yeah.
Song recommendations?
Wow, Creedence, pretty much everything, isn't it?
Go and listen. We'll put the whole
everything.
Creedence
Oh,
discography.
no, okay, I'll say Someday Never Comes.
Okay.
Man, so many good songs. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Low Die.
Lodi.
It's a good one.
Have you ever seen The Rain as
Yeah.
well? I think that's a nice vocal.
Yeah, and what's the name of that song? That gospel ballad. You just
Effigy.
I forgot. Got the name
That's
of the
okay.
song. I'll remember.
He's going to remember, and we'll put it in the
I'll
playlist.
remember
anyway.
now. No, it's going to be here. Give me time. Oh God, how did I forget that one? I have a problem with Creedence. I keep forgetting the stuff I like.
Yeah, they're one of his favourite bands.
Yes,
so go
exactly.
figure.
And because how do I forget the name? It's just as long as I can see the light.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so those
Beautiful
songs are going
songs.
into the playlist.
Yeah.
My fourth favourite top... Oh, it's actually John Fogerty as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so yeah, we've done... Should we spend another 5 minutes? No,
we can talk about him forever.
Yeah. I'd just like to add the song Effigy to the playlist.
I like Effigy, yeah.
Penthouse Pauper as well is a good one. So we'll have a few Creedence ones in there for you. Okay, Dash, your third favourite top rock vocalist, please.
Okay. This is my top 3. I love these guys.
This matters now. We're in the top
I love
3.
these guys, okay. M Shadows of Avenged Sevenfold.
Wicked. Avenged Sevenfold are one of my favourite bands, and they're one of yours as well, aren't
I
they?
love them.
Sorry, I'm pointing at
Thank
Dash,
you for
not Felipe.
introducing them to me a few
That's
years
okay.
back. I absolutely love this band. M Shadows, okay, he's had lots of vocal training. And actually my top 3 guys had the same vocal coach.
Ooh.
Oh.
Which is Ron Anderson. And he coached Axl Rose as well. So basically he just coached like big rock guys. Okay.
He sadly passed away last year.
He sadly passed away last year, but he still has I don't know if any musicians, vocalists watch us, are watching us. You can guys go and check out his website called Voixtech. That's like his method of singing.
We'll
and
put
you
the
can
link in the show
subscribe.
notes. We'll put the link in the show notes. The link that Dash said you can go check
so
out.
he's also coached Matt Heafy
Of Trivium.
M Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, so much character in his voice. So much. Actually, I'd say emotion as well.
Yeah.
Distortion, power, and he can scream as well. It's not like scream like Corey Taylor. Scream.
No, you're right. It's not. It's
different
much more
type.
controlled. Yeah.
It's much more controlled. There's much more. It's not just growling.
Yeah.
It's screaming and singing.
Felipe doesn't know the band, but we showed him. We showed him 2 songs before.
What's the song you showed me on the video?
Nightmare.
Or
the live one.
Oh no, the one on top of the.
Yes, that was Acid Rain. Yeah.
Acid Rain.
We'll put that in the playlist.
So it's this. I'm much more into classic rock, and I don't know those modern bands.
Yeah.
But because I'm old, basically. But it's like I was quite impressed with how the chorus and the verse are completely different. And if you actually showed me just the recording, I would think, oh yeah, I got 2 singers in the band, right?
Oh really?
That's how I thought. I would think that because it's a different kind of voice he uses for the verse and the chorus.
Yeah.
And out of all the singers we're talking so far, he seems to be the one who can do that better. So and I just want to point out that the fact that there's loads of people out there who think Oh yeah, singing is all about emotion, and all the great singers in the world, they just have that special talent and feeling. But there's a lot of training behind all of that.
Of course.
Even the guys who don't think they're training, they're practicing, they are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe you don't have a vocal coach, but you playing the piano and trying to reach the right notes. There's always a lot of practice involved. And there's this kind of myth that, for rock and roll, you just go there and scream at the microphone and then you're going to be fine. And not really, There is preparation, there is warm-up exercise and all this stuff.
Absolutely.
And if you can be technically good and still deliver emotion, that is a big thing.
As important. Yeah.
Because basically what you do is you go through the technical stuff in order to not have to think about techniques when you're performing, right?
Yeah.
So the better you are at technique, the less you need to think of it. And I think that's how he sounded like to me. He didn't. You look at the video, he's comfortable. He's like, I'm not struggling.
Yeah,
That's what I wanted to say. That his as a guy who's been a fan of them since 2008, I think. I have heard.
Well, you were born in 2008.
He thinks you don't know what
you're not there. Yeah,
I've heard his voice get better and better and more solid through each album that's come out. Yeah. He's always had the character in his voice. What we love about him, he's always had that personality, that raspiness, that distortion. Yeah. But as each album's gone on, you've just heard him get to another level of, I want to say, comfort within that technique. Control and comfort. Yeah. Because I would put in a song in the playlist called Trashed and Scattered from the City of Evil album, 2006. But I'd also put in a song from The Stage called The Stage, 2016. 10 years later, they're both incredible vocal performances, but The Stage, the one 10 years later, is just far superior. Yeah. But it's not that the other one's bad.
Yeah, exactly. I know what you're saying. Yeah, exactly. And when we saw them live...
Oh, God, yeah.
To me as a singer, it's important to see how the singer of the band is going to perform it live, whether they've got control live, how they're going to, combine it all with interacting with the crowd, etc., etc. And he does it so well. And you can tell he knows how to hold his posture properly so he doesn't, get out of breath whilst, jumping around the stage. He's got it, sussed, And he actually said that he spent more time in vocal training than with his family,
Well, it's his job, isn't it? He's got to sort of nail it.
There you go.
3 or a few Avenged songs. This band is
too many.
It's hard when you say the band name quickly. It's hard to pronounce. So this is Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah. So you'll see that in the play. Avenged Sevenfold. Yeah. Any songs, Dash, to put in?
So many for me, to be honest with you. Hail to the King for the projection of it. I just love Buried Alive. That's probably my favourite. Wicked, yeah. That's my favourite tune, I think.
I'd like to add in The Stage, so I'll put that in.
The Stage. Yep. Afterlife, okay. Gunslinger. I mean,
great,
guys,
that's enough.
Knock yourself out.
5's good enough, yeah. We're going to listen to the rest. Excellent. So, Felipe's number 3, top rock vocalist.
All right. So far, we had Americans and English guys, isn't it?
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Well, Freddie wasn't born in England.
No, he was British overall. Yeah, you're right.
I've got another British, but Scottish guy this time. Dan McCafferty from...
So that's Dan McCafferty of Nazareth. Yeah, excellent. Tell us why.
Is so unique.
Yeah.
It's like... they were probably one of the first rock bands I ever listened to because my dad is a big fan. And it was I was really young, and it was you've got to listen to Nazareth. You've got to listen to them. So, yeah, but why? It's I was, I was a young kid at school. Yeah. No one was listening to rock. So no, this band is the real deal. And it gave me an album, and I was listening to that CD the whole day, and it's fucking amazing. I mean, the guy's great. I mean, thing is, his voice is aggressive, and it's not clean at all. It's not like a typical trained kind of voice, although I think he's got loads of technique. But he can sing the ballads in a slightly aggressive way, which it's unexpected to me. And we were listening to some. Obviously, you can. I mean, the best thing to do is to listen to the songs, really. And I showed you guys a couple of songs, a couple of my favourites. One of them. Are
they the ones you want in the playlist?
Yes.
So tell us now.
This Flight Tonight, which is sort of a ballad, but it's it's kind of a hard rock ballad.
Yeah.
And Razamanaz is like a fast-paced rock song, and he just sings really fast. I don't know how he breathes in that song. It's just amazing. And the other one became kind of a really famous recording of Love Hurts, which is it's a Roy Orbison song.
Oh, okay.
They covered, and it's one of those cases they made it better than the original, and his vocals in that song is like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like I want to cry every time I listen to it. It hurts.
Yeah.
Love hurts, and his vocals hurt in a good way.
Good rock and roll should hurt.
Yeah, good rock and roll should
It
hurt.
should change your life, but not necessarily for the better.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much emotion in it, and it's not like, the clean pop kind of vibe that people do in ballads.
Well, I heard when you showed me those songs, I heard Dio mixed with Axl Rose.
That's
And I
great.
thought, but at the same
that's
time,
great.
I know the song My White Bicycle. My dad used to play that Nazareth song.
Right.
And his voice is so different to the three you've just suggested. He's so versatile. He can adapt. Now, I don't know Nazareth by any means. I know 5 songs. But from those 5 songs, the 4 he said and the one that my dad showed me, I can already hear the versatility in this guy's voice, the aggression in some of the heavier songs, the control and power and emotion in the ballady songs, and the weirdness of the My White Bicycle vocal. He just seems to have it all.
But isn't it the definition of rock and roll? You can
Musical
do whatever.
freedom, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, so move on to my third favourite rock vocalist. And we are going for the second singer of Iron Maiden, Mr. Bruce Dickinson. I've seen Iron Maiden, I think, 5 or 6 times in my lifetime, and funnily enough, there seems to be a pattern with my singers, don't they? It's the ones that command the stage and have control over the audience and looks like they know what they're doing. The one thing I can't stand is a singer who just stands there and singing for the sake of it and looks uninterested, or even if they look interested, I want to see something. You're on a stage to thousands of people. I want to see that this means something to you. And watching Bruce run from side to side of the stage and jumping and sprinting. I mean, forget his performance side of it. His vocals are incredible as well. If you listen to any of those albums from the 80s, Number the Beast, Power Slave, he has some incredible vocal performances on there.
Agreed. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I bet Dash has got a lot to say about him, but I want to say one thing. I saw them live only once, and I'm not a Maiden fan because I'm not a heavy metal fan. I don't listen to heavy metal at all. I listen to some hard rock stuff, classic rock. I'm not really into metal. But I went to Rock in Rio back in the day. Was it 1999 or 2000?
2001.
Because there's a live album, 2001. 2001. Yes, I'm going to mention that. So I went to see them because I wanted to go to Rock in Rio. It's like everyone was going. It's like, I'm a rock fan. I need to be there. Yeah. And there wasn't any particular band that was like, I want to spend my money with that. But so I say, I'll go to the heaviest day, the proper rock, because they have some pop acts and some stuff. I'm going to the heavy metal day. And there was Sepultura, Rob Halford, and Iron Maiden. I was like, okay, cool. When they walked on stage and started playing, just start with the performance is amazing, but the vocals were definitely my favorite part of the whole show.
Brilliant.
Because everyone talks about the visuals and the guitar solos. But
he's also amazing. The visuals.
But he was
another level. Yeah.
He was spot on. He was running from one side to another. At some point, he jumped into something. I was like, "Dude, you're jumping and singing at the same time and running." It's like he had total control. Didn't struggle. It was like a 2-hour gig. Didn't struggle at all. Yeah. And it's like obviously the technique is there, but it's just the way he delivers it, the way he communicates with people. He does get people just saying, the microphone, the Bon Jovi thing with the microphone, whatever. But I don't think it's because he can't hold the notes or whatever.
No,
he can.
That's part of his showmanship.
It's just
Dash, thoughts amazing. On Bruce?
Oh, Bruce is great. We watched a documentary.
We did, Flight 666.
And he just amazed me. I think he's a really great person as well. I really admire his personality. But vocally, I think his stamina is just on another level. And out of all my singers, I mean, Freddie as well. Obviously, Freddie had amazing stamina as well. But Bruce, he's got all these really high notes and he holds them so well. And he runs and jumps. And it doesn't sound even like he's getting out of breath or anything.
Yeah, that's so shocking.
So that says it all, you know. There's just so much control, so much stamina. And like Laz says, I just love how he communicates it to the audience. You can feel his energy. Like, you can literally, when you watch him, he's just like, you know, like he does all these very big gestures as well. I love that. I feel like there's just so much energy coming out of him.
He's actually also just recovered recently from throat cancer.
Yeah.
When I say recently, I mean 3 or 4 years ago, I think. But he suffered. He wrote the 2016 album, The Book of Souls. He recorded that, having just received treatment for throat cancer, I believe. And he's come out on the other side and released another album since then, and his vocals have not taken a hit.
Right, just say something. You know, when people defend the use of lip syncing in gigs, like, oh, you know what, because, you know, especially pop singers, because they dancing and singing, so they can't sing live for the whole gig. Tell Bruce that.
Tell that to Bruce.
Yeah, it's like, you know, we just mentioned Freddie and Bruce, and to a certain extent, Axl Rose can do that as well.
Yeah.
You know, it might not be on the top of his game now, but he can still run and sing. So there's no excuses for not doing your job properly, right?
Exactly.
Bruce Dickinson is the proof.
Yeah. The Iron Maiden songs I'll put in the playlist. I'd like to put my favourite Iron Maiden song, which is called Hallowed Be Thy Name. The vocals are great on there. Ace is High and Rime of the Ancient Mariner from the Power Slave album. And I'll stick in one from a recent album so you can hear that as well. I'll put in Empire of the Clouds from the Book of Souls album, I think. And we pointed up here earlier because the Rock in Rio show that Felipe's talking about, Felipe got the drumstick. So for our visual viewers, this is Nico McBrain's drumstick, and Felipe kindly gifted this to me. So yeah, that's Bruce Dickinson.